Jack, a boy of humble beginnings, found himself washed ashore on a desert island. His clothes tattered and his body aching, he was alone in an unfamiliar territory. He fumbled through the dense vegetation, searching for food and shelter, his survival instincts kicking in. The first few days were a blur of challenges, each day a fight for survival. Several days later, he stumbled upon a figure sprawled on the sand. It was a boy around his age, dressed in what seemed to be designer clothes. His name was Oliver. Jack took Oliver under his wing, sharing his meager findings and teaching him basic survival skills. Despite their vastly different backgrounds, they became fast friends. Together, they constructed a makeshift shelter, fished for food, and created a signal for rescue. Their bond deepened with every shared triumph and defeat. As the days turned into weeks and weeks into months, they discovered a strange sense of harmony in their isolated existence. They were far removed from the world they knew. On this island, Jack was no longer a poor boy, and Oliver was not a rich kid. They were equals, both dependent on each other for survival. Their friendship took a different turn as they found themselves falling in love. It was a connection they had never thought possible, a love born out of companionship and survival. However, life on the island was not without perils. One day, while trying to kill a shark that had been threatening their food supply, Oliver was fatally wounded. Jack held Oliver in his arms as life slowly drained from him. With his dying breath, Oliver asked Jack to live for both of them, to cherish the life they had discovered together. Jack was left alone once again. The island, once a place of harmony and love, now echoed with Oliver's absence. His loneliness was unbearable. He decided to leave the island, driven by his grief and the promise he had made to Oliver. He worked tirelessly to build a raft, his determination fueled by loss. After several weeks, he set sail. He left behind the island, their home, their sanctuary, and ventured into the open sea, guided by the stars and his will to survive. He was eventually rescued by a passing ship. He arrived in London, a city so vastly different from the island, with its bustling streets and towering buildings. Jack decided to assume Oliver's identity, to live the life his friend could no longer live. He found himself in a world of privilege, a world so different from his own. He was welcomed into Oliver's family, who were overjoyed to have their son back, oblivious to the truth. Jack played his part well, learning the ways of his new world. He attended lavish parties, wore expensive clothes, and dined in fancy restaurants. Yet in the midst of it all, he felt a sense of emptiness. He realized that this life, however luxurious, could not replace the simple happiness he had found with Oliver on the island. The memories of their time together were his only solace. Jack, now living as Oliver, spent his days fulfilling his promise. He lived for both of them, carrying Oliver in his heart, honoring his memory in the best way he knew how. He devoted his time and wealth to charitable causes, focusing on providing for those less fortunate. It was his way of bridging the gap between his past and present. As years passed, he learned to find happiness in his new life, a life he owed to Oliver. The boy from the poor background was now a man of means, living a life he could only dream of. He often looked at his reflection, seeing Oliver's face looking back at him. It was a constant reminder of their shared past, their love, and the promise he had made. Jack, living as Oliver, was a symbol of their undying bond. He was a testament to their story of survival, friendship, and love that transcended social barriers and even death. Even in the heart of the bustling city, he often found himself drawn to the sea. The sight of the vast expanse brought back memories of the island, their home. He would sit by the shore, letting the rhythm of the waves soothe his soul. He felt a deep connection with the sea, a bond that was as strong as the one he shared with Oliver. The sea was a constant reminder of their struggle, their journey, and the love they had discovered. It was here that Oliver was alive, in the crashing waves and the salty breeze. Jack lived out his days carrying the legacy of their love. He held on to the memories of the island, cherishing each moment they had spent together. His heart ached for Oliver, but he found solace in the life he was living. He was fulfilling his promise, living a life Oliver would have been proud of. Jack, as Oliver, was a man who had found love in the unlikeliest of places. He had survived, he had loved, and he had honored his friend's memory in the most beautiful way. His story was a testament to their bond, their survival, and their love. It was a story of a boy named Jack, who loved a boy named Oliver, in a world that was truly their own. And so he lived on, carrying the memory of Oliver in his heart. Every beat was a reminder of their time together, their love, and the promise he had kept. Jack's story was one of resilience, of love beyond boundaries, and of a promise kept. In honoring Oliver's memory, he had found a way to live a life that was truly his own. He had learnt that life is not defined by where we come from, but by the bonds we forge and the promises we keep. And with that, Jack continued living, carrying Oliver's legacy in his heart. His story was a reminder that love is a force that can transcend the boundaries of social class, physical distance, and even death. It was a testament to the power of love and the strength of the human spirit. In the end, Jack was not just living as Oliver. He was living for Oliver, for their shared memories, for their love. And in doing so, he found a life he never thought possible, a life he truly loved.